Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I've posted anything, but I'm
Gross.
Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I've posted anything.
Alright, mic is all set up, mic is good. Alright. Alrighty. Let's do this. Alright. Let's create some functions. This new function will be called get invis meshes. And this will return a primitive component. Actually, they should probably do data, equipment. Let's just create a new folder called mesh. Create a new structure called mesh material. Oh, there we go. My mic wasn't recognizing me for a bit there. Always happens. Slowly but surely, yeah. It's definitely taken a bit. I wasn't able to do anything this week, unfortunately, but yeah. today I'm gonna hope to actually I need to open up the old project and get some of the assets from there, because I'm gonna keep a lot of the stuff I had in the old project. But yeah, I'm trying to actually get it, because like obviously if we click play right now and we got this boy and he just goes he just instantly turns invisible, that's not what we want. We want him to nicely animate out of it and then come like transition back in. So yeah, that's what we're gonna try and do. But I need the armor material effect from the previous one, and then if we finish this fast enough, I'm also cleaning a lot of this up, so if we finish that fast enough, then I'm thinking about going and looking at maybe making some new shield materials, which will be interesting. I have yet to truly figure out exactly what I want to do for the shield materials. I know I want to have one that's a bit more hexagonal, like I guess this is a good image. I gotta find another image. Here we go. These two images are perfect. Like, you know, Halo Reach kind of had this electricity almost material for their shields, which is kind of almost what all of the Halo games have had, except for Infinite, which they have this hex material. I'm gonna technically be having both of these. One is gonna be for the shield boost when your shields are, you know, boosted, basically over shield, but when your shields are boosted. And then the other one's just for your normal shields. I haven't decided which. I'm kind of leaning towards the electricity kind of energy shield look, being just your normal shields, and then when your shields are boosted, you kind of have this hexagonal pattern on it. Again, haven't fully decided. And that's the other thing is, I think the hexagon, goodness gracious, I think the hexagons will always be visible on either one of them. So if it has the energy shielding, they'll still be visible. They'll just be the energy effect will be a lot more prominent. And the hexagons will be maybe like a bit more laid back. And then in the other version of it, you'll still be able to see the energy, but the energy will be a bit more laid back and the hexagons will be more prominent. I just haven't figured out which one I actually want to be, but I assume that's something that we'll figure out when we actually get the material made, and then I can do like a community poll or something. So yeah, but I'd have to figure out how to actually do the hexagons, because I don't know if that requires the model to be unwrapped a specific way, or if I can do some kind of world aligned like texture. I don't know if that would look right, but it's worth a shot. Also, I saw your video. I liked it a lot. It was very funny. So yeah. Ooh, I'm smart. I was thinking about that today. I was actually gonna do that today. I am either going to do a full-on devlog, which I don't think I have the time or energy or commitment for right now, unfortunately. So I'm thinking I might just either today or tomorrow just record some gameplay, get some of the testers together, do one final gameplay session on the current build that is in the game, and essentially just do one final play test session, maybe get a little bit more feedback, probably feedback that has already been addressed or isn't really helpful. Things like, oh, the animations are bad. Well, that's obvious. Use that to get some footage. Also a good little goodbye to the Gen 2 build, and then just do a little voiceover, just a little update telling the community what's going on with it, show off maybe some of the new art that we've been getting and stuff like that, showing that the game's still alive. I haven't done a video in pretty much over a year, or just about a year, which was the Q&A. But yeah, just a little update video. It wouldn't be a full devlog. Maybe show some of the Gen 3 stuff. I appreciate that. So yeah, I don't know. I'll think about setting a ping in our tester channel and see if anybody wants to join that. So, but if we do end up doing that, then yeah, it'll just be a little nothing crazy on the editing. Literally, probably just stick the whole game or games in the background while I just read my script. Just write a quick script, going over some important notes and just saying like, oh yeah, this is what we've been working on. We've been getting some art, and also explain just like what happened. Like I moved, I got a full-time job. Like that's obviously taken a lot of my time and energy. So, because it's a pretty physical job, so that's taking a lot of time and energy, mostly energy, and that's why I don't do much anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, just a little update video, nothing crazy, not a full devlog, but just kind of updating people on what's going on. So I'm thinking about doing that this weekend. Whether or not I get to that is a completely different story. But if I don't do it this weekend, it definitely won't happen for the next month, because all my weekends for the next month are pretty much completely taken up. I'm going on vacation at the end of this month, and I've got other stuff going on the other weekends, so it's pretty much this weekend or not happening. Yeah, imagine. I could never imagine. But I just solved a cool issue. This is a curve for like the visibility of the player mesh, and then the visibility of the invis. Because what happens is the player will completely go invisible for like literally no time at all, and then the invis will fade in. This is the easiest way to hide the transition of materials. Unfortunately, Unreal can't really do it the way Halo does it. Don't ask me why. I think it's just a technical limitation of how Unreal does their invisibility stuff, but I can't really do it the way Halo does it, so that's why I'm doing it this way. And I honestly think I like this way better than how Halo does theirs. But yeah, we'll see. But my biggest issue is I needed a way to fade out of the mesh, and then I was gonna fade in the fade in the invisibility, but there's no, like, this is just a value between 0 and 1. So like, how do I know if you're invis, or how do I know if you're have your actual player mesh? So if I go negative, then I just say if the value is negative, then that means you're actually invisible, and then it just uses the absolute value of this. And then if it's positive, then that means you're supposed to be using the actual yeah, materials are just a shader. Same thing. I don't know if you use shader graph or anything, but yeah. Actually, I need to get my player armor from my old build. Golly, the stuff I have to go through. Okay. Oh, I never had it on this one, but I think I did have it on matte armor. Yeah. Jeez Louise. Jeez. Okay, that's the spawn effect. That's the teleportation effect. I need the invis mask. Here we go. This is what I need to transfer. And it only needs one texture. Heck to the yeah. Yep, we stick it in there. Boom, back in here. Now if we go to if we duplicate this invis boy, we stick him to the left. And we go into materials, player. We stick player base on him. He's still using smooth shading, which he's not supposed to, but at this point I don't have the care in the world to fix that. I don't care to actually shade him flat shaded. But it works. But now if we open this, actually we can open this, and then we do oof, this is gonna get messy real fast. I'm not exactly... Yeah, I'm using 100% blueprints. I don't touch C++ at all. I refuse to, in fact. I refuse to. That's the simple answer. Okay, and then if we do materials, and then we go to material functions, and we go to invis mask, and we make this exposed to the library, then we can go invis mask, and we can stick the opacity mask in here. Yeah, it's... oh my. How exactly do I have this set up in here? I haven't used this in a bit. Oh, that's just a float. Invis scalar. Invis percent, I guess. Stick that into appearance. Color, I believe, is your crystal color. And then glow amount is invis glow. Invis edge glow amount. Make this 1 by default. But yeah, no, I just... C++ is... The big thing is like syntax. Like if I wanted to, you know, do this in C++, the amount of syntax that I'd have to do, like I'm sure once you know the syntax, it's not hard. Just like it's not hard for me to know what to type in stuff in Blueprints, but I learned Blueprints super fast and super quick. I don't want to have to take the time now to go learn C++ too. So, yeah, that's that. But, now... Oh, it's because invis% is 0 by default. So, if I take armor base, and you can see this invis% down here now. It's weird that it's not showing both of those. Oh, it's because I'm not using the emissive yet. But if I take this and I pull this closer to 0, you kind of see it's got this almost like digital fadeaway. So I can do this little digital fadeaway really quickly. And then essentially as you get to like right here, you're completely invisible. And then that's when it'll transition into the invis material. And then that is when you will fade in from having 0 invis to being completely invisible, and you'll fade into being like, you know, invis. So that is what I need to get working. I also need to get the edge of it to be, to take the I did not mean to do that. Whoops. So we go into player armor now. We can use this opacity mask to okay, if we stick invis% at like 0.75, that is very strange. Yeah, that's what I'd figure is, and that's also what I've heard too. Is yeah, it's not just C++. It's very like Unreal Engine specific. Yeah, I've learned a lot about shaders. Like I know how to mentally think about shaders, but like like mentally I know how to understand shaders. I just, when it comes down to the textures, like if I have all the textures and stuff like that, I can pretty well, you know, I can do good for myself in making a shader if I have the textures already here for me. Like I can put the shader together, but actually creating the textures, that's when it becomes extremely hard. So we're just going to do not a seal, we want to do a saturate. And we want to mask this in just the red channel, that way we get just a single thing. Okay, so this will be the actual emissive color, but we also need another output for emissive mask, not mash, emissive mask, and then this will go into here, and that's just what we need. Where's my material again? Here we go. Yeah, now emissive mask, I don't even need to saturate this anymore because I am already doing that, even though it's free. Yeah, so if it's black, so we want this to lerp between, if it's black, then we want to use the old emission color, and if it's not, then we want to use this emission color. I think that's how that's going to work out. And see, I'm already going, I think, because I don't know. That is weird that this isn't doing it in here. But let's just go 1, save. Let's go to armor base now. And it's still not working. Let's go. See how I did it in the old one? Like, and that's the other thing. Oh, I just added it. That's honestly probably the smarter way to do instead of lerping, is just to add the emission to the previous one. And if we go back to the armor, we set the invis edge glow amount to maybe like 20. Okay, 50. Okay, like 100. And then we start, you know, like that looks cool. Yeah, that looks good. Honestly, I could do even a little brighter. Like, you want this to catch people's eye if they see that, so you want that to be really bright. I like that digital fade away. So now, if I put this on my other screen, and I show you this dude, now if invis percent goes down, you can see him do a nice little dissolve. He'll go completely invisible for, you know, I don't know, 1/10 of a second. And then he'll switch to the invis material and the invis will fade in. So, yeah, now we just got to get that working. So, pretty much, the animation curve, we need to set this to invis animate. And on tick, thank you, thank you. Not sure if we're gonna keep this yet, but I need to condense this into a material. But what we need to do is we actually don't need to do any of this on begin play because we're gonna have to do it manually in the middle of the animation. And then the biggest part about this is also replicating it, making sure it's, you know, somebody joins mid-game, do they see the invis properly? Do they see, like, you don't want the effect to play. Like, if somebody's already invisible and somebody joins mid-game, you don't want to see the effect play. You want it to just go straight to being invis. So that's going to be the next step. But first, we got to get it to actually work. Excuse me. Let's go tick, and we don't even need to make a function for this. This can all be done in the event graph. It's fine. Oh, don't do stuff on tick. Shut up. I'll do what I want on tick. It's the only way to get this to work. We need to get value. That's also been a little bit of a discussion. I don't think so. Just simply because, like, if you look up Project Onyx on YouTube, my game is the first one to come up. Obviously on Google, that's a bit different. I'm quite fond of the name Project Onyx, just because it kind of also plays into the story a little. The little bit of story that we have, and that is finalized. So short answer right now is no, but I do think that I don't know. I think that, you know, over time, as the project gets bigger, hopefully, I would assume, I mean, it is continuing to grow. So as the project gets bigger, I would assume that just the name Project Onyx would also, as soon as it gets more popular and more hopefully trendy, it'll become one of the few top search results. So maybe add a subtitle, like what? Hey, what's up, Elijah? You, Elijah, we gotta play some games sometime. Hit me up. Okay. I don't know if I want to do this at the beginning or at the end of the frame, because technically the first frame that this ticks, you want this to be 0, and then you want it to, yeah, we'll do this at the end of the frame. So we'll just throw a sequence in there, and just have this run at the end of everything else. And then what we'll do is we have is invisible, which is a replicated variable. There's a decent bit of crossplay games. I'm sure Call of Duty. I know Call of Duty is crossplay. Fortnite, obviously. I have to reinstall it, but you know, I got fast internet and a SSD, so I can install it decently quickly now. Okay, we're gonna forget about replication for now. We're not gonna worry about networking this. This will almost work perfectly on everyone's copies. The only thing that is really important about this is making sure that if people join mid-game, then they see the invis. And that's something that I know how to do, so. Also, if y'all hear me gulping down on some juice, I am sorry. It's very good juice. Yeah, I've been playing a bit with some coworkers and some well, yeah, Call of Duty I've been playing. I don't really play with anybody else but my coworkers now. John and Zach and I used to play a bunch, but don't really play it anymore. Alright, what we need to do is we need to call, what did I call that function in this? Update invis %. Cool. So we need to get our owner and we need to tell it update invis %, and then stick this in there as long as this is greater than or equal to 0. If that's greater than, it originally was. Yes, sir. You got it, Elijah. It was originally, I got the name Onyx from the book Ghost of Onyx. It was never, like, it was kind of related to the Ghost of Onyx story for Halo, but never truly actually based off of that or anything. And so we just kept the name Onyx, and then it kind of grew into part of the story. But yeah, I know there's plenty of Halo fan things that are Project Onyx too. I mean, like, it took me a bit to rise to the top of the YouTube searches whenever you search Project Onyx. So I just assume that the same thing will happen for Google searches. Just once the project gets big enough, Onyx should. I don't want to bank off of that. That's something that I'll have to monitor over time. But you know, if the project becomes big enough, like I hope it will, then over time, Onyx, this will just be the top search for Project Onyx. Like, you know, there's games out there that are just single word games like Halo. I mean, you search Halo, you're gonna get the game Halo. But before Halo was ever a thing, obviously 2001, I'm sure you would have gotten completely different search results. Like if you search Umbrella now, you're gonna get Rihanna's song Umbrella and stuff like that. Like you're not gonna get just pictures. You might just get pictures of umbrellas. I don't know. It's also just based off of what's trendy. So the search engines update based off of what's ever trending. Anyways, as this animates, if this is greater than or equal to 0, meaning that, you know, we're ticking down, we're hiding our player, then we tell our owner, the person who has this invis on it, that we're updating the invis percent. And because I'm doing it this way, technically anything in the game could be invised. You could make invis vehicles or something if you really wanted. I wish there was a way to dynamically add effects to materials. I mean, I'm sure you could do something with decals, but I wish there was a way to like dynamically add an effect to a material. That way I could add this invis effect onto whatever material I feel like adding it onto. So but now I need to go into the player, add a new interface, add the invisibility interface, and then we go and add these to their own category. Invis and invis. That way they're easy, nice and neat. Interfaces, update invis percent. Guess we'll stick this in my temp graph for now, just simply because I don't have an actual ability stuff for now. Okay, and then what we do is we get our third person mesh. I don't think I'm creating a dynamic material at runtime yet. Player data, no, I'm not. Okay. Yeah. Create dynamic material instance. We're gonna do this as player armor base. And then we're going to promote this to a variable called mat underscore player mat. I know, mat underscore player mat. Creative. I'm fully aware. And then we need to set element 1 and element 2 on the player mesh. This really should just be one material. Again, I exported the player mesh kind of improperly. That's my bad. We'll be getting a new player model hopefully soon. And then this will be index 1. Cool. And then in temp, we will want to get our player material and set scalar parameter value. Percent will go into there. Value name invis percent. So now in theory, we click play, and we have player number 2 go invis. In theory, he shouldn't. Yeah, that's exactly what should have happened. That's cool. We'll have to look at my old project to see what the timings that I had in there were, because I liked those timings. Those were very good timing. And then now we just have to do it where if this is less than 0, then that means we are now in invis. And then we want to clean this up a bit. If this is less than 0, then we want to do a sequence, and then the first thing we want to do is a do once, and we want to get all of the materials, all the meshes and materials list, and we want to I'm gonna look it up. Doesn't look like there's a way to dynamically add an effect to a mesh. That's unfortunate. Okay, so the first frame that this is less than 0, it'll set the invis. And then what we need to do is we need to get the actual material. And this is where this comes into play. We need to be getting this value, or at least the value we want it to be, every frame. That way we can set this. But first thing we're going to do is we're just going to hard code it for now, just to be easy. Or did I? Did I do this smart? That's a good question. I can reuse this opacity multiplier. So if I go back to the base invis material, where's opacity multiplier? I do not need that anymore. But I do need just invis multiplier. The max will be 1. And I will stick that into the invis, or the opacity, just because we do need that to be multiplied. And then we need to plug this into the refraction. So if invis multiplier is 1, meaning we're fully invisible, then I think I do a 1 minus. Or maybe I just do alert. I'll just do alert. That's easier. Easier on the head. 1 will be fully whatever invis is, and then this will be 1. Cool. Let's see how that looks. Invis multiplier, if we drag this to 0, boom, completely invisible. And then it fades in. Perfect, that's exactly what we want. So, if we go here, and we set invis multiplier, goodness, I can spell, I swear. And then we take this value, and we absolute it. And then we compile and save. I have to set it up in the player, otherwise it won't work. We have to do get invis meshes, make. For now, we'll just do the player, and then we'll worry about the weapons later. Nope, I want to make. That's what I was wanting to do. You guys are watching me absolutely fail. Make. We want this to be 0 and 1. Boom, that should work. So, if we make this full screen so you can see in all its glory, he will walk over here, and when he goes invis, this is probably the best angle. You'll see him kind of do the kind of like digital dissolve effect that we just worked on, and then you should see the invis fade in, I think. Cool. The invis did not fade in. That is nice. I love that. Let me just debug this, see what it's outputting. No, I can just do this with one player for now. I mean, it does go up to 1. Oh, bro, I'm not worried about that. But if I do let's print out the indexes that it's setting the material on. Maybe it's not setting the invis material properly. No, it says 0 and 1. And then let's also debug the name of the mesh that's getting the material set. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm very dumb. It's because I'm setting refraction middle to 1 right here, so it's just constantly invisible. I'm stupid. This'll work. Trust me. If it doesn't work, I don't know. I have faith that it'll work. Yeah, that was cool. I like that. Oh gosh. I'm shooting in... That's weird. It's not actually shooting from my gun. That's something I'll have to fix, obviously. That looks good. That looks good. Now I just gotta make it work for the guns, and then we make it work for multiplayer. Oh, and we also have to work on reversing it. That way when your invis ends, it can reverse out of invis. which is just playing the same effect backwards, just really fast. This is cool. This is coming together really well. It's exactly what I wanted to happen. And then we gotta get the movement-based effects to where it like adds more distortion and stuff based off of how you're moving and all. We gotta get that working too. But actually, now that I think about it, I can just plug that right back in, and honestly should work perfect because I'm just using a multiplier now, so I can just do that. I think that's the whole reason why I wanted to do a multiplier, is I don't have to worry about like interpolating this entire value based off of the curve value and yada yada yada. I can just multiply that multiplier. I need to start using that a lot more in my materials. So in theory, if we do this, we go invis. Yeah. Which means if I'm... There's no way to take invis off right now, so... if I start sprinting and I go invis, you kind of... Yeah, it still nicely... like, transitions to the invis, and if I stop, it's still... I'm almost perfectly invisible. Again, this is very hard to see. This is values that we'll have to tweak and play around with. Also, look at the way the third person gun tilts when you crouch. That'll match in first person. And look at the way the HUD goes up and down. I'm very happy with how this is turning out. I just can't wait to get the first person animations in there. We're working on new Gen 2 weapon models, which will help me get the entire weapon system completely fleshed out. The way I have replicated shooting right now is not proper. It was my first attempt at it, at doing it the right way, and I already know the flaws, and now I'm very confident in the next system. That might be what I stream tomorrow. Who knows? We will see. But invis completely works, which is super sick. I wonder if I can add... Can I, like, add notes to here? No, I was really hoping I could add comments. Because that would be nice that I could say, like, oh, this is the crouched value, this is the normal value, this is, you know, walking, this is... Excuse me, this is sprinting, this is like top speed kind of thing. Like, if I could add those comments, that would just be nice. But it's... If I just select this, I know that 800 is the sprinting speed, and 1000 is just the max speed that you can relatively... You can go way faster than 10,000. Which is just 10 meters a second. You can go way faster than 10 meters a second, but being that that's the on-foot top move speed, if you're like sliding and thrusting and doing stuff like that, that's just the max value. There's no point in going above that. But yeah, okay, so this works. Cool. And it looks good, in my opinion. Weapons. We need to get to work on the weapons. So, which means making a very basic test weapon material. Weapons, new folder, tracers. We'll stick it in the temp folder for now, because it is a temporary. Material, mat underscore weapon. Boom. We'll stick a color value in here. We'll just leave it black for now. Metallic. Actually, what am I doing? I can just do this. Weapons are kind of metallic, so we'll go with like 0.8 for default on that. Specular. Default is 0.5, so we'll go like 0.2 maybe. And then roughness, weapons are really rough, so we'll go like 0.95. Oof. Okay, maybe not a solid black. We'll go like a very, very dark gray. That's not that dark. Let's go like 0.01. 0.001. Let's go with 0.3. And the metallic, let's just make this 1. Oof, maybe not. Sure, that looks good. That looks fine. Then we need to come over to our player material and just copy this. And paste that bad boy into here. Plug a missive into a missive. Change this to masked. Opacity mask goes into opacity mask. And save and apply. Let's create a material instance. Let's grab one of our weapon meshes. Oops, I keep doing that. My bad. Golly. Sure, we'll go with something like that. That's fine. We can close this. We can save this. And then in here, we will just select both of these meshes. When do I set this? Here. So then we'll just oof, this is gonna get confusing. We can just set material on both first person and third person and set it to weapon base, compile, save. So now when we spawn, cool, our weapons are black. The big thing is that the reticle should not go invis, because otherwise you can't ADS. So I'll have to figure out a system for that when I get to re-adding the ADSing. Then what we'll do is we need to tell the weapons themselves that the invis is happening. So let's do what am I doing? Guys, you're distracting me, even though no one's saying anything in chat. You're all just watching. Invis, update invis percent. We need to create material instance. Weapon base. Actually, let me make sure this actually works. I never confirmed that this works with the weapon meshes. I don't know if these are unwrapped properly. Goodness gracious, why is one scroll wheel zoom in a ton? Okay, it does work. Cool. It looks a bit weird because of how it's unwrapped, but you know, it works. It does, so. Ooh, I need to run. Where's my player armor? I need to make emissive balance. I have a function for balancing the emission levels to make sure that each color glows relatively the same brightness. So we need to stick the color into, nope, that's glow amount, and then this into color. And then this goes into here. Yeah. That way, no matter what your crystal color is, all of them will glow the same. Promote to variable. Call this matte weapon. And then that goes into there. Cool. I am speed coding this. Set scalar parameter value. Invis %. Stick that into there. And that should work. And then we also need to do get invis meshes, which will be this. And then in here, temp, whenever we update our invis %, we need to get weapon data, get the keys, for each, we need to loop through all of the current weapons that we own. From those keys we can find the actual weapon. And then in the actual weapon, we can just call the exact same invis %. Update invis %. Yeah. As long as it's valid. We always want to check if it's valid. Can never check too many times if something is valid. That's where most of the error is coming from. Stick that into there. That should work. Dang, I'm pretty sure there's a function for combining two arrays together. Append array, yeah. That is the... I think the first one is the one that it appends onto, I believe. So, that's what we should do, and then we plug this into here, and in theory, weapons work now. Ding! What did I do? Is it because of the emissive balance that I stuck in here? Oh, yeah, it is. What did I do? There we go. Wait for the materials to update. Cool. That's interesting. Why are my guns immediately going invisible? They shouldn't be. Oh. Did I accidentally leave the default value on that as 0? I did. My bad. Who's spamming emojis? I can see it out the corner of my eye. Cool. So now in theory, if I go invisible... Yep, that works. And if I start moving, you can see it on the weapon too. Whoa, that is weird. Alright, let's see that again. This time in third person. And then we go invis. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And okay, stop it. And now let's see it in multiplayer. So this will work 100%. There's no doubt about it. It's just the big issue is that if somebody joins mid-game, and I'll show you guys that, I have to remember what the Unreal Engine commands are to disconnect and reconnect. But if this guy joins mid-game and this guy is invis, then he won't appear invis on his screen, so we'll have to fix that. But it works for the weapons. So if he goes invis, he now becomes invis, and as he moves around, becomes more visible, albeit very vaguely. I might also do some audio stuff where the faster you're moving, the louder your audio is that your character creates. If you're like crouch walking very slowly, maybe it won't. Maybe there's like an audio multiplier on all audio. And then the other thing is, whenever you shoot, there's going to be like a ripple that goes across the armor and the weapons and everything. So but yeah, this is cool. I like the way this is looking so far. Don't worry about those errors. That'll be fixed when I redo the weapon code. Now that I know how I want to do it, and also lag I know how to do the lag compensation. It's more so how to do the built-in anti-cheat. There will be some anti-cheat checks that'll it'll perform against basic cheating. So yeah, this is where we're at so far. It's looking good. Let me go look up what those commands are. I always forget. Let's do Unreal engine connect and oh, disconnect and reconnect. That's handy. So if we, for simplicity's sake, set this to new editor window and minimize Unreal Engine. We stick that up there and we stick this down here. This is the client. We're going to disconnect him and this is the server. So we see the server, boom, he goes invis. You can see that, you know, he moves around. Everyone sees that. Cool. Bada bing, bada boom. He's barely visible, which is how invis should be. I don't know if that's right. I think it's just the base values. I'll have to tweak them. But if we now, on this guy, type disconnect, boom, now he's in his own world. Oh, okay, let's reconnect him to the server. Then let's go. I'm dumb. I just hit escape. Hitting escape ends the play session. Oops. My bad. I can set that up real fast again. Anyways, he is now invis. Cool. And then this guy is going to disconnect. He's not in a world with anybody. And then if he reconnects, you see he spawns in and he is invis, but it played the effect, which I don't know if that's really that big of a deal. I don't know if you guys saw that, but let's disconnect and then reconnect, and you'll see. I don't know where he'll be on the screen, but you'll see that the guy plays the effect again. Okay, honestly, it's probably not even that big of a deal. Maybe I don't have to replay the effect, or maybe I don't have to do anything special for multiplayer because he do be invis. Oh, but now his animations aren't working. That's interesting. Huh, I want to test that now. So if this guy disconnects and then reconnects, his animations don't work and his weapons don't despawn, but that's fine. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. No, they do. Huh, that's interesting. I don't know if that's just a bug or something. I guess that was just a bug. Very interesting, very weird. Cool. That all works and it looks nice. And yeah, I'm very happy with this. I need to eat, so I might leave it at this for now and maybe come back to it either later today. I don't know if I'll stream it, but and then it fades in. I don't know if I want to do the whole glowing stuff. It does help make him look better, but like you can see him easier when he moves now, but we'll have to see how that looks on an actual map. I like this. I like this a lot. What do you guys think? I mean, we could also try working on the ripple effect whenever you shoot, though I'm not exactly sure how I want to set that up properly. Like, I think the invis component will have to be listening for, like, not listening per se, but like every time a gun shoots, it's gonna have to like call an event on the player saying like, oh, effect, like player shot or something, and then this invis effect will have to listen for that event. But I don't know how to do that without creating any hard references. That's the hard part, is doing all this without creating hard references. Like, I can call interface events on this, but I don't know that I can create like a global event dispatcher. Yeah, I'll have to look that up, how to do the whole weapon-based things. I suppose we can set that up in the Invisible material. I'm just going to close all of this and just open what we need. Let's see, emissive color. What we need to do is we need to create a sphere mask. Not sure if I actually want to use a sphere mask for this. Actually, I can do create a function called pulse, I don't know, wave location, and then we can do a distance to that. Essentially the exact same thing that I did. I'm creating the exact same effect that I did for the spawn effect, but in 3D. And then we do world position. And then this will give us the distance, which then we can specify a wave thickness, which we'll just set at like 1 meter. And then we also need a wave radius. which we'll set to 100. And then we essentially get the distance to this radius by doing another subtract, I believe. I might have to go look at my other material. It's crazy how much, like, I can make the same material twice and completely forget how to do it the second time. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at how I did that. UI, retainer box. Oh goodness. Yeah, we get the distance. Yeah, we subtract the radius from... Okay, so we subtract the radius from that. And then we absolute it. How? How is that the same? Wait, how do we do the thickness though? Oh. Smooth step. I see. Okay, just for testing, because I don't want to do this in the actual invis material. Otherwise it'll get messy. We're just going to create a new temporary material. And just plug this into the color. We're going to create a new instance. Duplicate another one of these guys. And we'll stick this into there. That is not what that's supposed to be doing. Oh, it's because I do the 1 minus before it. Oh, okay. Perfect. So yeah, I can specify now like a thickness. So if I say like 10 units thick, which is actually technically 20, I would assume, because it's 10 on each side of, like, you have the center of the ring and it goes 10 units out and 10 units in, but whatever. And yeah, the radius, like, if you shoot, like, if we turn the wave location to be... Okay, that goes forward. So this should go off to his hand. So yeah, like, if he shoots, wave radius will, like, pulse across, you know. You'll see this, and, like, that'll, like, change the visibility of the player mesh. I actually think the thickness should be something like 20. I think change the power of it to be a little thicker. 0.5 maybe. So, if we just say, yeah, we'll take all this code, and now we can copy this to here. No, the invisibility. Yeah. And then we take this value, multiply it by another value called wave glow. And then we want to add these two together. Take that into emissive color. Bless me. We'll just call this wave. It's not necessarily the right word for it, but it's what I'm calling it. Wave. And then we'll just copy the values that I stuck into this, which is 0.5 for wave power, which would be 0.5. Wave radius is 50. That doesn't matter. That gets changed dynamically. So that's fine. Wave thickness is 20. And the wave glow, let's say that's 500. Sure. So now if I change wave radius, that gets pulsed through the player. Maybe something like 60. And then we do, we also want to multiply this by the crystal color. Yeah, so every time it shoot, it kind of send a pulse across, if that makes sense. I can try and kind of visualize that to you guys. Not necessarily visualizing it, but like I can hard code that in really fast. Just to see how it looks, see if we like it. Yeah, I'll just hard code that in real fast. And that'll also give me a better idea of how I can do this properly. Temp, because this is going to be a temporary thing. We want to add timeline, call this shoot pulse. We want to add a float track, make this, I don't know, 0.25, add a key. This will be 0 and 0. This will be 0.5 and 1. Or sorry, 0.25. And then we just set this to auto to make it nice and smooth. Rename this to alpha. Compile. Temp. Alpha lerp between, let's just say Negative 500, and let's see, what's a good? Okay, let's just say negative 20. And let's see, if we want the full wave to go across, then probably something like 300. Then we'll just do get component by class invis. Wave radius. And then we can just quickly do get weapon, get equipped weapon. Very, very hard coded, by the way. Not at all the way this should be coded, but I just want to get this visualized. See if it looks cool. Yeah, cool. And then whenever we add the weapon, we just need to do get our burst counter, bind to on shot received. Why did Discord reset? That's nice. That's cool. Didn't ask it to. And whenever the shot is received, then we just get shoot, pulse, and hit play. In theory, that should work. I don't know if it will. Wait, if we go invis. Dang, I can't even shoot now. Cool. Yeah, see, something like that. Like, not perfect, obviously. It's really fast. So let's slow it down. I don't know, kind of almost something like a shockwave kind of going past the player. Let's set this to 0.5, set this to 0.5, and then we want the attack to be really quick. And then we want it to like quickly, and we want it to slowly fade out. I don't know, maybe also increase the distortion and have it like interpolate back down. Obviously it'll look better with like muzzle flashes and stuff too. And I'd have to figure out a way to do multiple of these, because otherwise, if like, you know, this high fire rate weapon, you can kind of see the effect never finishes playing. So that looks bad, but like, let's just stick this to 1, see what the effect looks like at 1 second. It almost looks like he's taking a shot instead of shooting. I mean, I might just do it to where if you shoot, it just does exactly like moving, where... Oh, cool, I was able to run through it. Oh, I can stand in it, that's weird. I don't know. It's an idea I've got to play around with. Doesn't look bad, but I don't quite like the way it looks. Again, it kind of looks like you're taking an impact, because it looks like it's like dispersing the energy. I might just make the entire player visible for a second and then hide them. I don't know. It's an effect I'll have to play with. I'm not quite happy with that. So I'm gonna delete all of it. So that also somehow broke my shooting code. So that's interesting. Weird. I'll have to look into that. My shooting code is needing a... Interesting. Cool. Well, I'm happy with where we got at today. So, being able to actually transition to being invis. The next step would just be the animation, because you'll kind of like crush a crystal. I'll have to look at if there's a way to do that with a particle effect, or if I actually have to create a destructible mesh and have the destructible mesh like explode and have forces on it. I would love it to be dynamic. And I'm fine with doing it in a destructible mesh actor, but if I could do it in a particle system, that'd be way easier, because just animating like the visuals on the crystal would be much easier. So It doesn't look like there's any way to do that, unfortunately. I'll have to ask one of my game dev friends that knows VFX way better than me. That's the point of it. I don't intend on recoding it another time. So, yeah, the way I'm coding this is kind of coding it as optimized as possible, as cleanly as possible. There's still a lot of stuff to clean up just because it's still in the kind of, you could say, prototyping stage of a lot of things. A lot of this stuff, like going to third person, that is something we're gonna have, but this is very temporary for how I'm doing it. Like, it works, and I'm happy with this. I like the way it feels, but like, it's still something that, you know, still needs some work, obviously. But yeah, hopefully not. But no, this version is gonna be the stable build. Again, the Gen 1 was purely prototyping, learning how to code. Gen 2 was learning networking, and Gen 3 is putting it all together. The good thing with art is the code doesn't have to change for a lot of that. There is some coding, obviously. There's the technical art that does require some coding. So there will be some code that needs to be changed, but like this version will be code-wise like super reliable, super like clean and stuff like that. And then as we get art, we'll just keep throwing the art into it, and you know, we can add sounds, we can add stuff like that, and you know, we'll change the code as we need. The only big overhaul I could see me doing is it wouldn't be a recode, thankfully, but if I got like Fmod or Wise, as we call it, or just Wise, you know, some kind of sound thing to make the game sound better and give me more sound features like dynamic reverb and stuff like that. I was planning on coding those systems myself, but if I end up buying something like Fmod or Wise or something, there'd be a huge audio overhaul that would go into, you know, making the game sound a lot better. But that wouldn't require a whole recode. That would just be overhauling the audio calls and just, you know, replacing all that, which would still take a lot of time. But yeah. Yeah, no, definitely no more recodes after this. That's for sure. Is it spawning me? I think it's spawning me with 2 guns. I think that's what the issue is. Yeah, it has its benefits. This is so weird. I'm so confused. It's like it's making me press right click to shoot even though it's just one gun. It should be making me press left click to shoot my primary gun. That is very broken. I did not touch that code at all. It was literally working 5 seconds ago. So not 5 seconds ago. What am I saying? Oh, that'll do it. It's because I changed the default value of this to be true, and so it just changed it on all things. There we go. Now I left click and it works. And then if I go pick up another SMG, I can dual wield weapons. Cool. Actually, I want to see what it looks like on the SMG when I go invis. Yeah, he's definitely holding that gun. Uh-huh. Yeah, coding in a nutshell. But I'm pretty happy to leave invis like that. I want to do something with like you know, Halo. If you shoot, you become more visible. I want to do something like that. Not quite sure how I want to go about that. I don't know if I want to like just increase your visibility really quickly. Something I'll have to look at, but yeah. Anyways, I think that's where we're going to leave it. Maybe sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if I'll have time to stream, but if I do, I definitely want to start working on getting the first-person animations in, so maybe it'll be a animation stream. Maybe... I'm not doing anything next Friday, I don't think. So maybe next Friday we'll do an animation stream. See about getting some first-person animations in. Make the game stop from feeling so stiff in first person. And that's also where the shield stuff will shine. I'm fine with leaving invis where it is right now. I'm happy. It's got the movement stuff at the very least, and gunshots and tracers still happen, so I'm not too worried about making the player more visible when they shoot. Something I'll have to, again, something I'll have to work on. But yeah. I also still have to think about the whole shield material stuff. Wish you could be there. Why won't you be able to be here? Your school's on a small island? Until summer of 2025. Goodness. The game might be released by that point. I mean, I hope so. I doubt it, but I hope so. So. I'm setting up the playtest for tomorrow, debating what time I want to do it, because I obviously have to give myself time to make the video. But I guess I can type out a script and voice record before I actually record the gameplay, and then I can just throw that together real fast. So yes, sir. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna leave Invis there. I consider that feature complete. We've got the whole dissolve effect, and we've got, you know, it nicely transitions and nicely incorporates it into there. All we would obviously need is a sound effect. I don't even know what I would do for the sound effect, but I like it. So this is way better Invis than I've ever had, and it's very simple. Like, I didn't do that much changes to it, but the only thing that I kind of need to fix is the whole magazine stuff, where the magazine appears darker simply because it's overlapping transparencies. So that's the only other thing that I really need to work on. But I think that's going to have to require a mask per gun, and the gun will just have to mask itself out. But we'll see. I don't know if it's really that big of a deal. Maybe different guns that have a bunch of moving components it might be a big deal on, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. I like how that's come together. I need to work on updating the shooting code again to get that to work much more reliably on the server side. Certain shots just aren't being registered on the server from the clients, and I know how to fix that. I've got a good idea on how to do that. So we might work on shooting tomorrow. We might work on more effects tomorrow. I kind of want to do code-based stuff. I like doing art stuff, but it's not the best. I'm not the best at it. So yeah, we'll see. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching, and I might go to bed now. I might go to bed in 6 hours, so might be another dev stream today. I highly doubt it, because I'm probably gonna go play some games with friends. But almost definitely one tomorrow after I go shopping. And yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. I might even stream the test session tomorrow. I think that could be very fun. That'll be over on Twitch probably, unless I can dual stream to YouTube, in which then I'll do it on YouTube and Twitch, but we'll see. I'll have to look into that. It actually sounds like it'd be really fun to actually stream a playtest to Twitch and YouTube, mostly YouTube. Anyways, I'll stop yapping. So I gotta go get some food. I'm hungry. So I appreciate you guys joining. We're slowly but surely getting there. Unfortunately, again, work takes up a lot of time and energy, but I'm slowly working back into getting into it. So this version, before you know it, will be fully looking gorgeous. So once I make that video, maybe get some new artists. I don't know. We'll see. But I will see y'all tomorrow. Probably. So, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Appreciate you guys. See ya.